And our guest tonight is Mr. Duane Sheperd. It is such an honor to interview you. You are I know I'm supposed to ask what you do in the industry, but I know that you are a phenomenal actor and teacher. I caught your show a few years back. I won't say how many.
Thank you.
Your one-man show in Seattle, Malcolm X,
Mm-hmm.
which was phenomenal.
Thank
you. You inspired me so much. Made me want to come out to LA and act. And then I get here and you end up teaching me. So, wow, you're just phenomenal. I mean, is there anything else you do in the industry?
Yeah, well, presently I'm working recurring on The Unit.
Oh, okay.
I'm also recurring on General Hospital. I'm also recurring on King of Queens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so,
Wow.
they keep me pretty busy. I'm also CEO of the Community Artists Guild, and
Okay.
we're an arts advisory agency, and we help struggling actors find their way through the industry. We're located at the new movie studio they just built down in Los Angeles,
Okay.
downtown Los Angeles, called the Los Angeles Center Studios.
Okay,
And
okay.
now we're moving into film and TV production, behind the scenes training as well.
Wow, okay. So now, how did you get started? I've been dying to ask you this. Like, how did you get started as an actor?
My mom was an entertainer.
Okay.
She was one of the first Donald Byrd singers. She was also a model and a dancer. And she left Detroit in 1956 and grabbed me and my younger brother and brought us along with her.
Mm-hmm.
And so she got into the first black musical ever produced here in Los Angeles. It was directed by DeForest Covan. And it was called We're On Our Way, and that was my first acting job. She put me and my brother in it, and the first of real applause that I ever got for something that I did. And after that, I was just bit by the bug, and I've been doing it ever since. I've been doing it now this year, 50 years.
Wow. See, now you told the years. See, now. Wow.
Longevity is good.
That's right. You
Yeah.
look good, too. I
Well,
would never
thank you.
thought that you've
Thank
been
you.
doing anything 50 years.
That's kind of you to say. Thank you very much.
No problem. Now, you are one of the most motivated persons I know. Like, I remember you used to always say in class, your goal is to be the fattest puppy in the pound in the dog-eat-dog world. Did I quote you
Very
right?
good. You get an A.
I
That's
paid
right.
attention. I
That's
paid
right. Yeah.
attention.
In my classes, I tell my students, well, what's your motivation? Your motivation in this business better be hunger.
Right.
And your method is not Stanislavski or anything else. It's to be the fattest puppy in the pound in a dog-eat-dog business, which encompasses all those other things.
Right.
So when you go into an audition, you're there to eat everybody up, friend or foe.
Right. And that is such great advice, because a lot of times it helps to get rid of some of that insecurity.
That
you,
anxiety.
as soon as you step in there, you start questioning all these things. And
Yeah.
when you think, I'm hungry for this, and it doesn't matter, all that stuff doesn't matter, and you let it go.
Yeah.
So that's
A good motivation is to get there about 2 days before the lights are going to go off. And I
in
usually
your house,
book.
right?
I usually book.
Right, right. Wow. So, what's your main goal like right now? What is it that you?
My main goal, I would like to be a series regular on a good show.
Right.
Okay, there are a lot of shows out here that aren't any
Right.
good. They're on for a little while and then they're gone.
Right.
And I guess that's every actor's dream. And I do want to produce and direct and write historical motion pictures, especially about some of the black queens of Africa, the ancient black queens of Africa, which have been, just sorely missed in
Right.
everything that we do. We
Right.
very seldom glorify the female gender in our history the way they should be. So
Right.
there is a lot of history that's been missed. I think there's a lot of opportunity to do some great black epics with those stories.
Right.
I was raised by women. There's 17 women in the house that I was raised in Detroit.
Wow.
I went to school here during the year, and then during the summers I was at home.
Gotcha.
And I got all my homemaking skills from being there with my grandmother and aunts and cousins and whatever.
Right.
So there's a lot of history that they were telling me about that has been missed over the years, that African Americans have had the power to make films. And I really want to try my best to correct that, as well as create a film and television recording production training facility here in Los Angeles for young people around the world to come and study the craft.
That's wonderful. So would you say one of your main goals also is just to help young actors getting started? Because I notice you do a lot with people who are trying to find their way in this industry.
Well, that's most important, because if you don't, then the quality of what you're doing will certainly suffer. The way our people are being depicted will certainly suffer, and is suffering to a certain extent. And when I came along, there were a number of schools, and I studied with A.C. Bilbrew, who had a school, and she was going from storefront to storefront, from church to church, and I learned piano, and I learned dancing, and I learned acting there, and they actually named a library after her in Compton, I think it is,
Okay.
yeah, or Compton or Carson, an LA County Library, and a lot of people don't know who she is, and without her, during the 50s, there probably would not have been the type of progress in the arts here in Los Angeles. So all those schools that I went to, the Inner City Cultural Center, the Performing Arts Society of Los Angeles, the Ebony Showcase Theater. In fact, they were the first ones that ever put a video camera in my hand. Nick Stewart did when I was 17 years old, and it's been history ever since with me and video. But all those places are gone now, and nobody, any of our actors who have gone on in the industry to make lots of money and get lots of notoriety. They all want to produce, but nobody's teaching.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well,
Right.
you know, and because I was here, I've been here since 1956. I've seen most of those actors come in here to Los Angeles
Right.
and come to those institutions that were here, and then they walk away and they make their careers and they don't look back and they don't
Right.
reach back. And when they do, it's always, you know, to get some more support to do something else, but never to come back and help others move up the ladder the way they have.
Right.
And they could.
Right.
They just don't.
Right, right. So what would you say to a young actor who, like one that's in one of your classes that you're teaching, who's striving to come up? What advice or recommendations would you give a young actor trying to make it in this industry?
Well, definitely do your homework. You know everything you can about this business and about the art of acting.
Right.
It is a technical skill. Anyone can learn it. You don't have to be born an actor. In fact, a lot of people who are born or think they've been born actors are some of the worst you could ever see on the screen, and there are a lot of them out there. But you know, it is a technical skill. It has to be practiced as if you were playing baseball or learning to play the piano or anything else. You practice it, you're going to have the skills, and when you walk in there, the industry is going to recognize it, and they're going to put you to work.
Right.
Because skilled actors are at a premium at this time. You know, they're into this reality thing, and eventually that's going to pass because you know the art of the industry is missing,
Right.
and we're going to have to come back to that eventually because the public is backlashing. You know, and
Right.
when the public backlashes and doesn't watch your product, well, then the advertisers pull their money, which means you can't produce your product.
You're absolutely right.
So, so definitely they should do their homework. Certainly have their family in their corner. A lot of people get into this industry and they kind of burn the bridges behind them. But you know, when you start falling back down the ladder, you better have somebody's floor to sleep on. Okay, because there are times when you will fall back down that ladder.
Right,
You know,
right.
it just goes with the territory. It goes with the
Right.
game. You know, and
Exactly.
then just stick to it. You know, don't give up. I've been doing it for 50 years, and there've been periods where I didn't work 4 or 5 years. You know, you know, you just don't give up. You know, we're too easy to give up in life these days. You know, and you know, you look at Doris Roberts and some of the other people who are just really making their niche when they get to 70 and 80. You know, well, I want to be one of those kind of actors.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so I can die rich.
Right,
You know,
right.
and then leave all the money to you.
Okay. Hey, I don't mind.
All right.
I'm not fussing.
Yeah, so you really want to have a sound base, people who keep you grounded, people who are going to support you and believe in you and believe in your vision, because it can get really hairy out here. There are people out here who are not very supportive, who can be very negative,
Right.
and the most important thing, thrive off of criticism. Okay, when somebody tells you can't do something, you come back and you show them you can do that and even more.
That is excellent advice.